Everyone has a moment that they enjoy the most. For example, some of us enjoy watching the stars in the sky. Some of us experience the most enjoyment while eating our favorite ice cream with strawberry, banana, or chocolate flavors. Maybe it's the smell of a cake coming from the kitchen. Yummy! One of my favorite moments is the question of the day game. After coming home from school in the evening, when we have eaten dinner, comes the time to ask the question of the day. My mom and dad always prepare questions that surprise me. The question that evening made me think a lot. I was playing with my favorite toy car and waiting for the question excitedly. My dad was sitting in the question of the day chair and looking at the paper in his hand. And then the moment had come. My dad asked the question, looking into my eyes. What's the most existent thing in the world, Casey? Remember, as always, you have 3 chances to answer. I started to think. I actually had many answers to this question. I tried to find the best answers by thinking about what I learned at school. My mom and dad were watching me with curious eyes and smiling. The answer could be ants. Whenever I watched them in the sand, I saw a lot of ants carrying food to their nests. Once I tried to count how many ants were in a nest. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I couldn't count after 20 because they were too fast. I found it! Ants! The most existent thing in the world are ants. There are too many ants to count, even in an ant's nest, I said joyfully. My mom liked my answer very much and said with a smile, That's a great guess, Casey. I congratulate you on this answer. However, there is something more than ants. I didn't find the answer on my first try. It was not a problem because I had 2 more chances. I thought again. I was more sure this time. I shouted with joy, Of course! Drops of water! The answer must be drops of water. Every part of our world is covered with oceans, seas, and lakes. The answer is water drops. Another good answer, but you haven't found the right answer yet. My dad slowly shook his head from side to side. This was my last chance. I had to give the correct answer. Then I suddenly remembered how many people I saw on the road, in the park, and in shopping malls. Sometimes, on my way home from school, I even thought about how much traffic there was. People! The most existent thing in the world is people, I said confidently. My mother and dad approached me. My dad caressed my head and said, All the answers you gave were very nice, Casey. You gave very clever answers. But there is something more in the world than ants that don't fit in their nests. Water that crosses oceans and spreads over hills. And people who are everywhere you look, he said with a smile. Your dad is right, Casey. You did a great job. You answered the question of the day very well. But the answer is love, like the love of rain for clouds, the love of days for nights, your love for your friends, and most importantly, our love for each other, said my mom. I became very happy. I learned the correct answer. I love you too. This love is the most existent thing in the world, and that makes our world more beautiful, I said, and gave my mom and dad a big hug.